welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic.
And sit here say, great job, 49ers!
The five best players ever in the NBA, Kobe Bryant is not one of them.
Rafa, you can't say anywhere that he doesn't belong in the league.
Give me that amount of money, and I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Josh Allen will never make the playoffs again.
The SEC is straight trash.
This fool was a crumb bum.
Oh, he was in one of those vests? Yeah. What's up, everybody? And welcome to Two Nobodies with the Mic, episode 125?
124.
124, man. How's everyone doing on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon? Guys, we are Two Nobodies with the Mic. We talk sports, gambling. We are the show of the people. We interact. Please talk your shit. Ask questions. Last week, we had some great participation.
We had some interesting questions.
Some great, very interesting questions. But Will and those guys, they got to DM us so I can get them out some shirts or hats or stickers or whatever. That being said, guys, we only have one rule on the show. Eddie Money, you know what that rule is. Tell the people what the rule is.
Do not be a loser.
Do not be a loser, man, because we're going to talk some gambling, scrambling, gambling, and just play what you can afford. Don't be a loser. Let's get into our intros. In the center, executive producer, Eddie Mula. Eddie Money, man. How's it going, man?
Doing good. Doing good.
All right. And then we have our almost a scratch golfer at this point, right? I mean,
Yeah, right.
yeah. Right, but
Yeah, right.
Not from a lack of trying. That's for damn sure.
100%.
Rafa the Guru is in the house. Our in-house genius and knowledge of sports. How's it going, Rafa? How's everything? How's life, man?
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
Mike sounds a hell of a lot better.
Dude, when we tested it yesterday, I remember last week we were testing it, and I only had 4 mics that showed up there.
Yeah.
That were showing up. Yesterday was 5. That was the one we were missing the other day.
Sure. Okay.
So
Well, that is fixed. Glad to have you back. Our clips will not suck. I mean, you had such great takes. It just sucked.
not the Caitlin Clark take. According to people, a swing and a miss.
Ryan Holmes was not a fan.
Oh, Ryan Holmes, a hater.
I didn't see the comments. I got home, took a nap.
I agree. It was right. I mean, Rafa had a good take. If you look actually what he said, when I was looking at pictures for the clip, they also compared Caitlin Clark to Tiger Woods in terms of impact on sports.
There you go. But the thing is, it's like people like Ryan Holmes and all these Jordan lovers who believe that Jordan is this bigger than life figure. For women's basketball, Caitlin Clark is a bigger than life figure. I'm sorry. Nobody watched that shit until this little white girl stepped on the court. That's the bottom line. That's the truth. It shows not only in viewership, but also in the arenas. Dude, some teams average like 7,000 less fans when they didn't play against Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
So
I agree 1,000% with you, Rafa, because you have to remember Jordan was transcendent, right? But you had Magic and Larry Bird. There's a 30 for 30 special. They saved the NBA. Literally saved the NBA. No one they didn't play the NBA finals live.
yeah, of course. Never. It was on tape delay.
Think about that shit.
Yeah.
So, we got to have Ryan on. That's a bad take, man. That's a bad take. But let's get into the segment.
Eddie, you didn't introduce yourself.
I never introduced myself. You don't notice that?
I know, but I'm calling you out this time.
124 weeks in. Fucking A.
I don't know.
These young guys are spot on.
Mike, God.
300 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I think that's on purpose. That's the beauty of it. Dude, okay, quick story. My barbers, right? And I hope my fucking barbers watch this. I go there at least once a week, get my my $50 fucking haircut. I mean, are you serious? Barbers are I'm gonna fire barbers for charging so much. But dude, I go in there. They used to call me Sonny, and I correct, hey Sonny. I like, okay, Eddie. I correct him once. Now it's morphed into Bobby. They all call me Bobby. And I sat down, was it yesterday? And dude, they have two nobody stickers all over the place. They're like, Eddie, I like the show. I mean, Bobby. I'm like, where the fuck are you guys getting Bobby from? I don't get it. And my wife's like, why don't you correct them? I said, at this point, I'm
Far
going
in.
with it.
At this
I'm
point, it doesn't
going
matter.
with it.
Bobby's world. Bobby's world,
It's-
man.
yeah, I'm Bobby. I'm Bobby at Campos Barbershop, and I'm all in. Yesterday I told him a story, and I literally said, yeah. And this guy said, Eddie, why aren't you doing this? I said, Eddie, like 6 times in the story. And I'm like, okay, I think he has it. I think I has it. We're walking out. I'm like, all right, Jimmy. He's like, okay, Bobby. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought for sure they would have got my name right.
By the
But-
way, you mentioned why the barbers charge you $50 for what little they do for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yes.
the thing is, and because you're taking a spot of another customer that will get more done than you, so you got to pay. You're paying for the
Oh,
spot.
Actually, I go to one of the cheaper barbers in Downey.
But
They-
still, you're still paying for.
They charge 35, but my theory.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, 35 is really good, but I'm tipping my way to heaven. I get 50, 60, and I enjoy it. Going to the barber, it's a pleasure, Rafa, that you're missing out on. But you,
Oh no,
I
I used to go to. I used to
Rafa
go to the
dropping
barbershop.
barber knowledge on us.
I used to go to the barbershop. Get my head shaved, my goatee
Face.
trimmed and shit.
Yeah.
I used to go all the time. Then
Yeah,
my
it's-
barber fucking quit being a barber, so I stopped going.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I used to actually have this guy come during COVID, Tibbs, but no more because now you got to
Yeah.
go to his shop and it's a whole shit show.
barbers it's like a whole fucking thing now. They're like butchers and barbers. It's like hipster shit and fucking. It's gotten a little out of hand, but more power to you, man. Dude, I have my favorite barber. It's $70, and he's like, and we still in contact. I'm like, bro, I love you, man, but I $70.
I'm just shaving my head, man.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. But we do a segment every week, guys, called "You're Fired" or "You're Hired," and please give us your suggestions or comments, whatever. Who wants to start with "You Are Fired" this week?
I can start. I'll go first.
All right, Rafa.
I'm gonna fire the Las Vegas Raiders
Oh,
for supposedly having a top 5 owner, blah 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 bullshit, whatever those bullshit rankings came out.
top
but you-
4.
Whatever. Number 1, you suck. So who gives a fuck what you ranked in? Because you're terrible. That's number 1. Number 2, the head coach that you hired, you flew his ass in on fucking a commercial flight. Number 1. Number 2, in
Oof.
coach. So I don't know if they flew him in or he booked his own flight. I'm gonna say they flew him in. They should have sent a jet. They didn't. They should have booked him in first class. They didn't.
Yeah.
So I mean, who gives a fuck if you're top 4 in ownership? Number 1, your team sucks, and number 2, obviously, we just saw that your ownership group sucks dick too. Flying this man in on fucking coach, probably on Spirit, is what they
Dude.
did. It wouldn't
Dude.
even shock me at this point. He had to
So-
fucking probably fight through the fucking at the gate. He had to break him a fight just to probably get on the plane.
Did you
So-
see? Rafa? Did you see the videos of the Spirit terminal that was flying to go into a cruise? It was like the Royal fucking Rumble, bro.
Dude, did you see that? It was in Atlanta, I believe, right?
Oh,
I don't know where it was.
I thought it was Atlanta. I
I
thought it
don't
was
know where it was.
Atlanta.
it
Look it up.
probably was.
I mean, probably. Fucking odds are,
Yeah,
shit was in Atlanta.
Listen, I had to have.
We don't gotta say race, but we can assume it.
Yeah.
It was in Atlanta.
Yeah,
Oh,
hot
man.
Atlanta. Listen, I had to have a talk with my daughter's boyfriend, awesome guy, but they travel all the time, and I found out they flew Spirit. I'm like, my wife and I had to sit him down, like, Papa, you have precious cargo here. You
Actually-
You don't fly my daughter on fucking Spirit. That is a no.
Did you know
That's a
that
no, man.
Spirit is the only airline to not have a crash?
It is.
I don't-
It is. It's 100%.
Really?
It's
It's
100%.
100% true.
I saw that. It's 100% fact. 100%.
It's too
cheap.
expensive.
It's a little. It's too expensive to land in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
They're getting you there because.
Yeah, actually, when you rank the top 5 airlines, the top 5 airlines in the United States, that shit is like third actually in
Yeah.
safety and certain things. Now, listen, they're safe in the air. At the fucking terminal, at the gate, there's no safety there.
No.
There is no safety there. Like, that's one of those airlines where if you're not in first class to board right away, like, wait until everyone's boarded and then show up at the gate. Because if
Hold
not,
on.
you're going to have to fight. You might have to take out a knife, a
Does-
fork.
Does Spirit have first class?
I have no idea. No idea. No
yeah.
clue.
No. You're more likely to get in a fight than in the airplane or in the terminal. Yeah. That shit is crazy, man.
Safest airline as far as travel wise, but not for the fucking actual passengers sitting in that motherfucker.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you
That's-
might get shanked in that bitch.
So you know what, Rafa? I did see that. I did. That is embarrassing. I tried.
Attention, no first class.
Okay. that makes
Thank you,
sense.
Jay.
Great. Thank you, Julius.
Oh,
Great comment. But Rafa, I agree with you 1000%. I tried to find out research, all these Raider accounts that posted Pete Carroll, dude, he was standing talking to the GM and the head coach of the Seahawks for an hour. And I was trying to find out because one guy said he was flying coach. If that's true, Raiders, I agree with Rafa 1000%. Papa, get the win to fucking take one of the jets. I don't care. And Mark Davis, your franchise is worth $6.5 billion. Get your man a private jet, man. Come on, that's ridiculous.
that's insane.
Ridiculous.
And Pete was probably like, "Oh, don't even worry about it," blah blah. Like, no, even if he says don't worry about it, dude,
Worry about it.
worry about it. Send the jet wherever the fuck he was at. If he was in the middle of fucking nowhere, send the jet.
Yeah.
Like, that was brutal.
I mean, we travel a lot, Rafa. We fly a lot. You fly a lot. It's a thing. It's a status thing. It's zone 5, zone 3. It's an insane thing. You know how it is, bro. You want to be first on that plane. You want to get all your bags up, and it's
Yeah, I'm first
crazy.
in, first out. I'm first in, first out. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You got it like that.
I'm in and out. I'm
I
in
just
and
gave
out
me
that
the emergency
motherfucker.
exit row.
Fuck no. Well, yeah,
Need
because
that
you're
extra leg
huge.
room.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have that on Spirit or no?
I fly Southwest. Fly Southwest.
Oh,
Free
okay.
chicken.
All right.
Also, garbage.
Hey, free chicken. It's phenomenal.
Well, all right. If you
Anyways,
say
back
so.
back to
Back to
your
you're fired.
We
Who wants
fucking
to-
just fucking work for the FAA at this point. Jesus Christ.
How about
I
we
got-
fire? How about we fire the whole? I mean, I did want to ask you this, Rafa. I swear to God, I was going to bring this up. Do you think it's a case of more, eyes on this? You think? I mean, it's been crazy this last 2 months with the,
Okay,
the
listen.
near misses.
All right. And so some guy posted something, and I didn't Google it, but I'm gonna go based off of what this dude put. He actually put that if you go back to January, February of 2025,
Uh-huh.
and January, February of 2024, there were more plane accidents last year than there were this year.
Okay,
It's just made a thing now because Trump came out and said
Okay,
something.
I
And-
figured you'd have something on that. And because
Yeah, I
thought
saw a
that
little
might-
bit, but
yeah.
you got to remember all these, like, they count it as just all airplane
incidents, near misses.
no matter what, aircrafts or whatever. So, and that's small aircrafts. That's fucking in the middle of, countries we never even fucking heard of, all of that included. The thing is, we saw it here because you had that right outside in Washington. Then you had the private jet in Philly.
Yeah.
That might have been a cartel hit.
Yeah,
So-
was the Minnesota that shit? That was
The
all-
Minnesota to Canada. Did you see I think it was a Southwest flight like 2 days ago. He's landing.
yeah.
He's literally landing, and he has to go up because there's a small jet just on the fucking
Oh yeah.
cutting
Yeah.
across on the runway.
Yeah, the
So-
Delta fucking cabin filling up with it's crazy, man.
Yeah, no,
Crazy.
it's crazy.
What do you
it-
got, Eddie Money?
I actually have 2 hirings. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
Wow.
First off, I'm gonna hire the NFL for finally going to digital chains instead of physical chains for first downs. It's about damn time. No more index cards. We'll never
No more
see that again.
folding
No
and
more folding
index
and
cards.
index cards.
That was the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that was abysmal. We should have never saw that, but now we'll never see it again. So they said it should be implemented this year. We'll see how that turns out if it's done correctly.
And then
And okay.
no. If tennis can do it, if soccer has the VAR, Rafa, what is it called?
Yes,
yeah,
the VAR.
VAR.
I mean, it doesn't. This is way past due, because it's just ridiculous. Great hiring. Eddie Money.
Thank you. And then next one is I'm hiring, doing stuff for your parents that they never got to do. So for me, me and my dad went and saw Bo Jackson on Saturday, and I've never seen him like be so like geeked and just happy to see like something else. And I could tell he was still like downplaying it. We got his card signed and my dad's like jersey signed by him. And it's just like a reminder in life, everybody's living life for the first time. Just have fun with it,
I'm hiring Eddie Money. Hire Eddie Money for that. That's a great thing, dude. Give back to your parents, man. Your parents did a lot for you. And like I told you before, I probably would have been giddy and giggling like a. Did you guys get to talk to him at all? Or
We talked to him a little bit, but he was like go mode.
Yeah.
just like, boom,
He's
boom.
like.
Although I will say he was charging $150 for a photo op, which is a little nuts.
Damn.
Yeah.
What is it? A professional photographer or
Yeah, but it's literally just like next cheek. I was like, damn, $150 for that? Nah, I'm okay.
Bro, it pays. That shit collecting is huge.
Mhm.
Who else did you see? Any money out there?
There was supposed to be other people, but Rich Gannon was supposed to be there like 30 minutes before, but he canceled. Ellard from the Rams was there,
Oh,
and then
wait, Henry Ellard, didn't he do
Yeah.
time?
What's wrong with that?
Oh no,
OJ did time.
I thought no, is that the same dude who got caught with like 100 keys? Henry Ellard,
Oh,
that
that's
Henry Ellard?
Definitely not that one.
From the
Okay.
Rams.
Yeah.
He was there. He was signing shit.
All right.
He did his time. He did for the crime. And we got
Mike-
Michael Brown. Michael
What
Brown
is-
said, "I swear the souls on Hokas keep getting bigger and bigger. Guy at dance class right now looks like he's playing for Kiss." Hoka
Dude,
show record.
Don't knock the Hokas
Hokas.
till you try them, man. They're
Never. We're not fucking. Michael Brown and I are not old
come
enough
on.
to wear that shit. I'm sorry.
Old enough. I'm 22.
Yeah, but you almost a tard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got them big, lanky, fucking dumb feet. I'm sure.
so
Bro,
listen.
what the fuck
The-
is that thing?
These are
The
not
comfiest walking running
dude,
shoes
you
you'll ever wear.
Fucking dead ass.
okay. So
Walking
these are
shoes. Listen, hold the fuck on.
These are
Hold the fuck on, Eddie. Where are you walking to?
Me?
so yeah, Eddie. Yeah, you.
Yes.
Yeah, where you?
Both
Walk?
of you.
I walk to
Both
class
of you.
every single
How the
day.
fuck are
I
you
gotta go to a
fucking
hike
walking?
just to get to my engineering building.
All right, well, maybe you, but
No,
Eddie.
okay. Dude, I wore
Come on.
these. I wore these in Maui on the road to Hana, which, if you know about Maui and the road to Hana, these things saved my life. Okay, I almost died on that fucking road to Hana. Don't knock these. And by the way, these are the least just intrusive or obnoxious Hokas. It doesn't have. This is and I just saw these. They do the Hoka now in white. So They get a little
Dude.
crazy with the huge hoka.
Tho-
Go
those
with
those things look fucking awful.
Rafa.
Those things look like a fucking 71-year-old lady wearing them walking down the street. I'm sorry. Those have
They're
zero
comfy as hell.
style. They could be comfy. That's fine.
well,
They could be comfy. They just look awful. That's my
No.
opinion. Michael Brown knows they look awful. They look ridiculous.
You know what?
Almost as ridiculous as the picture you took with your fucking boy at the gym, Eddie Money. That was awkward as fuck.
How is that ridiculous?
That shit
Hey.
looks a little too much, man.
You got muscles, man.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Just do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? You guys motherfuckers.
Oh damn! Michael Brown called you out. Listen, if you got him, did you get tickets to the gun show? We all got tickets to that gun show that day for any
Ooh.
money. But
He did. Did you guys oil each other up?
Jason muscles.
oh dude, is this who's Julius Jupiter?
That's Jay. That's Jay.
That has
You
to be
think it's
Jay,
Jay?
right?
No, I know
It
it's Jay.
Oh,
He is a
Jay
big
and his-
throat. He is a big throat muscles.
yeah, for sure.
Jay works his out. Jay works his out every day.
Can I tell you what I don't get? I don't get the New Balance thing. New Balances were for my Uncle Duty, for my grandpa fucking Jay, and I don't get the New Balance. New Balance shoes are fucking stupid to me.
The thing is, New Balance has a style.
Yeah.
Like
They've
there's a
made their way into
style.
the
Yeah.
lifestyle brand.
My grandpa and my Tío Duty
No,
used to
no,
wear them. And
You're
yes.
thinking of you're thinking of the New Balance that look like Monarchs,
Mhm.
like the Nike Monarchs. There's New Balance that have style.
They modernized it a little bit.
Yeah.
a little bit.
A little bit, so
little
it
bit.
keeps
New
that way.
Balance
It keeps
are- New
new
Balance are
technology,
worn-
but old style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and New Balance are worn in actual fucking sports, unlike
Yeah.
fucking Hokas or Hookahs or fucking Hodas or whatever the fuck they're called.
Well, good point, dude.
Just some
For me,
fucking
for
Kenyans.
me, walking every day is a fucking sport. Okay, just
Alright.
know that.
All right,
So,
don't turn them into
Uh,
golf shoes because that's just gonna be sick.
oh no, we're not doing that. So, you're fired. If you guys didn't watch the Laker Maverick game last night, it was much. That's definitely Jay. Now we know that's Jay.
That's 100% Jay.
Now we know it's Jay.
You know, he said that's
Jay,
rough.
Jay, you might as well put your name though. The stiletto thing, dead giveaway.
Yeah.
So great game, great environment. Luka seems to be having fun. The Laker game, Laker fans got a chant. Thank you, Nico. That was freaking just legendary. But as great as that game was, it's driving me crazy. In that third quarter, the Lakers, and Rafa has them in the Western Conference Finals. They could be great. This thing could work, but you got to stop shooting so many freaking 3-pointers. At one point in the third quarter, they had only shot 3-pointers and they were 1 for 10. You have two of the best passers to ever play the game, and I think they'll figure it out. They pulled it out last night against a Dallas team that was missing some Lively and some key players. But Kyrie, man, woo! Kyrie, I haven't seen Kyrie play like that in quite some time. Kyrie still has the juice. And I want to fire Kyrie for not being more relevant and more passionate about basketball. I think Kyrie, Rafa, and I know you think very highly of him. I just think his legacy, for me, has been diminished and dulled. The light's not so bright because I feel like he doesn't love basketball. And I could be wrong, but when you see him play motivated like he was last night, he's silky smooth, Rafa. So Kyrie, love basketball, man. We need you. The NBA needs you to be great like that every night. And you're a pleasure to watch, man. Oh my God, so good. Austin Reeves trying to stay in front of Kyrie is laughable.
No chance.
Laughable.
No chance.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna defend Kyrie a little bit. I watch Kyrie play a lot, so I see him do this almost every night. All right. It's just that last night it was a little bit more intensified because it was on TNT against Luka, yada yada yada. But he does that all the time. The thing that what kind of sucks about Luka, about Kyrie, it's not that it sucks about him. The thing is, he's playing in the era with Steph Curry. But if you watch Kyrie play, Kyrie's a much more skillful player than Steph Curry ever will be or whatever. Steph Curry's just a great shooter.
But we got into this argument last time, Rafa.
I'm sorry. I believe that
Steph
Kyrie
is
better.
He's not the ball handler, giggity, that Kyrie is, but Steph has handles.
He can't get to the basket like Kyrie can. His mid-range jumper is not as good as Kyrie's. Bottom line, it's not. And I said you guys something today because Jay started talking about bullshit about LeBron and clutchness and yada yada yada. So I had to look up the list. The number one player, most clutch player in league history within a minute of the game with XYZ amount of shots is Kyrie Irving.
Wow.
LeBron James, by the way, number 4. Kobe Bryant, I believe, 31st. Michael Jordan, 27th. But Kyrie is number 1. Steph Curry's not in that top 10. Steph Curry's down 30% field goal shooting. Kyrie is, to me, by far and away a better one-on-one player than Steph Curry. It's not even close. He's just in Steph Curry's era. So if you take Kyrie and put him back 5 years before Steph Curry, he would outshine, but there's always just that.
There's Stephon Marbury. You had Allen Iverson.
He's better than those guys. Skillfully, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Skillful for me, he's better than Starberry. Starberry had more hops or whatever, and he'd get up there. But I like Kyrie. I like Kyrie. I love Kyrie's handles, and his shot is beautiful.
It was really fun to watch last night. He was really fun to watch last night.
It's gonna be fun to watch Kyrie when AD comes back, and hopefully AD can stay fucking healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a pick and roll to watch.
I'm gonna hire the Lakers for taking a moment and showing respect to AD, because AD obviously, I don't think he wanted to leave. They showed him his props, and Laker fans, deservedly so, he brought us a bubble championship, whatever. Still brought us, still hit the Kobe, still hit the fucking Kobe shot, which was legendary, one of the most legendary shots with Robert Horry, the .4, Derek Fisher, the sky hook, Magic Johnson. The Kobe in the bubble 3-pointer is a top 6-7 Laker all-time shot, in my opinion. Now, let's move on to the GOAT here. I'm sorry. What did I say?
Whoa. To LeBron?
LeBron, not the GOAT. Well, God.
Tell us how you really feel, Ed. Tell us how you really feel.
I will say this. LeBron still has 5 years left in him to play. The energy that he played with last night, Rafa, that defensively, rebounding, putting back offensive dunking rebounds, it kind of makes Luka look really bad, because Luka almost sat for a fucking entire quarter, and LeBron's out there just running up and down the court, doing everything. I was really impressed. And what I came out of that game was like, LeBron is nowhere near done playing basketball. And hopefully bringing Luka in might extend his career 1 or 2 more years, because LeBron has the intelligence and the acumen to understand that he needs Luka to hold the ball. He said that Luka is a natural quarterback and he is a natural receiver. You saw the passing that Luka did last night. His shots weren't falling, but Luka impacted that game in other ways through his passing and rebounding. But I'm a Jordan guy, but I was just so impressed with LeBron yesterday and his energy and his effort. It almost makes Luka look so bad at times because he's so big and slow.
16 in the fourth, by the way, by LeBron. But if you watch the Lakers last night and I think this is what they're going to do, and it goes back to what they did in Miami, when with LeBron in Miami, where kind of after the first year they figured out a way where LeBron can lead the second unit with, doesn't matter almost who's on the floor, he can lead it. So he's going to play like 6 or 7 minutes, 8 minutes of the first quarter, sit him down, and then he'll come back in the game and take that second unit, and Luka could sit. And Luka not being at full strength, because you can tell he's still overweight, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think like in the next 3 or 4 weeks, you might see that switch up a little bit, especially as you get later into the season. You might see that switch up where, okay, LeBron's going to maybe play 10 or 11 in the first quarter, and then Luka will sit first, and then he'll come in with that second unit, and LeBron could get longer rest. It's just that Luka, you can tell he's not physically ready to carry that. I don't want to say load because Jay's in the fucking chat, but I'm going to say it, to carry that load. Jay's a big load carrier on the weekends. He's bulks up right here in his neck, but big bulge. But you'll see that, and you're right, 100%. I think it's going to extend LeBron's career because Luka can carry a team, and LeBron can sit, a night every 2 weeks or whatever. But dude, LeBron, it's because, bro, I'm sorry. It's watching LeBron is watching greatness at 40 years old. I don't know what else I can tell you guys. I really don't.
There is zero argument that if you put Jordan's career at 40 and even Kobe, when when did Kobe retire?
Kobe never got to 40.
Yeah. But in his late 30s, or LeBron, there's no question that LeBron, even you want to talk about Kareem, the players that played, Karl Malone, John Stockton, the guys that played up in years, LeBron is by far and away the best athlete that we've seen play from 35 and beyond. To me, man, he's just, and I saw his 3-point percentage. Maybe it was not. I think it was last 10 games. It was 44%.
No, and last night I think he only took 4. He was 2 of 4.
Yeah,
he's gotten a lot. He's worked on the 3 a little bit, and he talked about it the other night that he's working on it, and he's coming in early and shooting some 3s and putting them up or whatever. And I want to what you said earlier, where you thought the Lakers shot a lot of 3s in the third. The thing is, you have to remember when you have LeBron and Luka on the court, they both can get to the basket. They both can draw the defense in. So what shot's gonna be open? The 3 in the corner for Ryu, the 3 up on the top of the key for Austin Reeves, or on the wing. Those are the shots that are going to be there for them. They don't. That's just what it's going to be. They're going to clog the lane, Luka and LeBron, and those are the shots that are going to be there. These guys are just going to have to hit them. There's no other way to run that. When you go back different eras, like you saw, Kobe had Gasol and Shaq. There was a different type of offenses on this team. You have 2 guys that are going to get to the basket. They can get to the basket every time. Defenses will collapse every time. What shot's going to be open? It's going to be the 3-point shot. Unfortunately, that's what it's going to be. And you're going to need these guys to fucking hit them.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about hit them at 50%, but if you can get to that 40% number, you're going to put up 120 a night.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting.
Well, since we're talking NBA, for me, and I'm obviously talking as a Laker fan, but I still watch a lot of NBA. I love SGA. Watching SGA the other night against Minnesota, watching SGA and Anthony Edwards, that was a treat. SGA, far and away, Rafa, and I'll ask you for your opinion. MVP. And my goodness, the boy can ball. He is just fantastic.
There's no doubt about it.
Okay. Who would your number 2 be? Because I think there's no question he's number 1.
Yeah. There's no question he's number 1, and then number 2 still has to be Joker, just because it's the fucking Joker. I mean, and actually, if you look at the odds, that might be the number 2, but it's not. It shouldn't even be close. Like SGA should be minus 200, 250, 300. Like that thing is locked up at this point. It really just is.
Dude, that's a thing.
Faison said Anthony Edwards is MJ's bastard son.
By the way, that's a thing. I'm going to tell you. So I wanted to mention this, and I forgot to mention it when we were doing your fire. So the other night, the T-Wolves and the Thunder, they played on back-to-back nights, right? They played on Sunday and they played on Monday. So I was at a bar on Monday night and I was watching that game. Thunder are down. I'm sorry. The T-Wolves are down. I think it was 115-103. They put Ant to the bench. Basically, they thought the game was over. They come back, tie the game, send the game to overtime. Okay. And in overtime, they had a couple bad offensive possessions. Naz Reid forced a shot and McDaniels forced a shot. And I was talking to the guy there at the bar and I said, this is where you bring back Ant. I know you because that's what I love about the NBA. And where if the guys that are in there make a run and tie that game, it doesn't matter who's on the bench. You had Mike Conley and Ant on the bench in that game, and they sat. And they brought in Ant because they needed him and to kind of maybe be able to create because they weren't able to create. At the end of the game was over. T-Wolves won. Ant only ended up with 17 points. Yet someone on Instagram showed that comeback. Oh, blah, 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 comeback. And they put Ant 17 points. If you actually watch the game, he had nothing to do with that comeback, like at all. Literally, he might have had a little bit to do with the win, although he didn't. He created a little bit, but I think he only had 2 points in overtime. But for them to put it out there like, oh, he did this wonderful thing, he really didn't. And all the hype that Ant got last year, where he's going to take that next step, that team is like 32-28 or some shit. So he's not as advertised as that. Like he's a phenomenal player. He's not leading a team like SGA is leading a team.
No.
Or Donovan Mitchell with
The
Cleveland.
Cavs. Yeah.
He's not doing that. And he's in the West. All right. He's still not leading. He's still not leading the team the way people expected him to. I think he's regressed a little bit. I don't think he's living up to the hype that he had going into the season. And it kind of shows you when they made the trade for Cat, but where they traded away Cat had a big deal, a big part of that. A big part of that, because that was his team before Ant got there. And now it kind of shows you like Ant took a lot of that pressure, or Cat took a lot of that pressure off of Ant for him to succeed and shine. And obviously the T-Wolves thought, well, this is Ant's team. We're going to do what the Lakers did with Shaq and ship them away. Well, so far, they don't look as great as they did last year.
Has not worked.
Well, they're still in the playoff spot, but not as great as it looked last year.
But this actually brings me to a question that I had for you, Rafa. And I heard, I was watching NBA, whatever. Who haven't we mentioned? We've talked about SGA. We've talked about Ant. We've talked about Luka. We've talked about LeBron. Who is the star? And I don't know if he's come out and said it, but who's the next guy? Okay, because there's a person that I have in my head that people don't talk about a lot. He's a little corny, but it's who's the next guy in your list? I'm trying to see if we're on the same wavelength here, Rafa.
For me, it's not Jason Tatum, if that's who you're thinking of.
That's who I was thinking.
If you're thinking of Jason Tatum, for me, it's not. And because he won a finals last year, Jaylen Brown was the finals MVP. And for me, watched the most. It's not even close, actually. I probably watched like 6 or 7 games a night of that shit. To me, when you win a finals, right? Kobe Bryant, Shaq, Michael Jordan, LeBron, Hakeem Olajuwon. I mean, the list is endless. Those guys were all finals MVPs because in the NBA, 99% of the time, your best player is the most important player on your team that wins the finals MVP. They won a finals last year. Jaylen Brown was the MVP, and Jaylen Brown was by far the better player. Like, it wasn't even close. So how can Tatum be the next guy when in reality, when it came down to it, you weren't even the guy on your team. Yeah, you were needed because you were, yes, another cornerstone piece, but you didn't outshine a guy on your own team. So how can I expect you to be the next guy and outshine the whole league? Like, I don't expect it. Like, I get the SGA for sure.
Is it a case though, Rafa? Is it a case to where it's like a Scottie and Jordan where their skill sets are sort of similar, size-wise, frame-wise? Are they almost the same player? Because I feel like Jason Tatum has everything you want in an NBA superstar. He has every attribute. He's a good dude. I mean, the length, the shooting, the athletic ability. Why isn't he a bigger star?
That I have no clue. I can't tell you why. But if you look at, you said Michael Jordan and Scotty. Well, Scotty led the team in the playoffs in rebounding, assists, steals. Right? Michael Jordan only led the team in scoring. Zing. Okay, so that's the thing. Scotty was and Phil Jackson said it, and he said it years ago. He said it after those runs, during those runs, that Scotty was a better all-around player than Michael Jordan. He was able to rebound. He can guard all 5 positions. All of that was said by the head coach of that dynasty.
Eddie Money, did I not set up a tee fucking perfectly for Rafa on this one or what?
You did. You teed that shit up, and I'm fucking going to hit it. I'm going to hit it like Bryson DeChambeau, 381 yards on a short par 4. I'm going to land that motherfucker on the green.
Oh, God.
And putt for eagle. So Tatum doesn't outshine Jaylen Brown. That's the problem. If you're not outshining your own guy on your own team, I don't think you can outshine the league and be that next superstar. He's a phenomenal talent. There's no doubt about it. He can rebound 7-8 boards a night. He can pass the ball a little bit. He can shoot the basketball. He can get to the basket. He can shoot the three. He can do all of that. But it just feels like he's not carrying the team on his own. That's the thing. And when you watch Luka, he carries on his own. Look at SGA. He's playing with 3 guys, last name Williams. Nobody knows what the fuck their names are. Like, what are their first names? 2 of them have the same first names with different spellings. Like, nobody even knows who the fuck they are. Chet's not even playing. You know, you got the kid that they brought from New York, Hartenstein or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, SGA is actually leading a squad and leading the NBA. And he's, you know, you see him every night. And I think he did something only Kobe and Michael Jordan did. You know, plus 30 plus points, 3 seasons in a row, 35 plus games, some shit like that. So
my next question to you is, when LeBron finally hangs it up, I say 4 years. I'm telling you, I think he has 4 years left.
It's a lot.
Who is the next?
That's 45.
Bro, the guy. I mean, he's not declining.
Yeah, but he said he would only, like, he's not going to stop playing when he feel like he can't play. He said that he'll stop playing probably like a year or 2.
And but here's the thing. He can adjust his game to whatever. Like, I feel like, you know, he'll get LeBron will put a post game finally together. Like, he will do, and he can do, and here's the difference. He can do anything and everything on a basketball court that's needed to help a team and make a team better. And that's why I feel he has 4 to 5 more years left. He could be a slasher. You know, defensively, obviously, you never get better defensively as you get older. But he can do everything and anything on the court. And that's, you know, so my question is that who is the next face of this shit? It can't be Wembanyama. You can't.
Well, it could have been Wemby. We'll see how he comes back, because you know that he's having a major health issue.
Yeah.
But Wemby's super likable, right? But after the trade, I want to say that it's Luka in a Laker jersey. I think it's so much easier to take a guy who's in one of these big cities or whatever, and I think he's going to be the face, because Ant they expected Ant to be. And like I talked about a minute or 2 ago, he's kind of regressed a little bit this year when he's had to lead the team on his own.
Yeah.
So now it's obviously it's not fucking over. I think the kid's 22, 23 years old, whatever. Yeah. I mean, so there's plenty of time for him to, and it could very well be Ant. SGA, he's a point guard. Can a point guard of that size really
Canadian?
That's. But can he really be that face in that small market? You know, Durant had to leave, Westbrook had to leave to kind of, you know, I guess get more notoriety, I guess you could say. I don't know. But I would say Luka, because he's got a Laker uniform on, and he's a fantastic player when 250 pounds, not 270, maybe even 245 if he can get down there. So,
yeah. And I'll tell you what, if you look at the after game pressers, literally the press in Los Angeles, they get hard-ons when they fucking talk Spanish to him, and he answers in Spanish, he'll answer in Slovenian. I think he speaks German. I think he speaks 4 languages. But at the same time, although he does speak all 4 languages and he's very well spoken, sometimes I feel better in other languages than actually in English. I don't feel like the personality's there to carry the NBA with Luka.
Listen, nobody's going to have the personalities that some of these guys had. Kobe, Michael Jordan,
Mhm.
Shaq. You know, like not everybody's going to have that. Is there a guy right now that may have that? The only guy that can maybe have that is Ant.
Yeah.
That's
Agreed.
the only guy that can maybe have that. So he has to get to a finals, him leading the team. Leading the team. Like if he got this team to the finals this year, it's like, all right, this guy could be the next one up. Last year was, oh yeah, he's the next up, blah, 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 blah. Look what he's done. They removed Cat and he's, the team's, not even close to what they were last year.
Can he do it in Minnesota?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, listen, LeBron did it in Cleveland, right? And he did it in Cleveland, but he got to a finals early, and then he left, right? And he had to leave, and we know how all that shit went. So, but normally we look at it could be done in Minnesota. I think he could do it in Minnesota, but he has to get to the finals. He has to get to the finals and shine in the final where people are actually going to watch him play. Because right now you're watching him play maybe once every 2 weeks that he's on national TV.
Yeah.
So, and that's the difference with being up there. If he was on the Celtics, he'd already be right there. And that Tatum not being able to kind of put that team on his back in the finals for me is why I can't see him as the next guy.
Well, before we get off on NBA, the last thing I wanted to say, and I was thinking about hiring the NBA as a whole and hiring and firing. For me, this trade literally saved the NBA. Everyone was talking shit about NBA. It's unwatchable. My son still says it's unwatchable. A lot of people still say it's unwatchable, but it's something new. We're watching 2 superstars, and we don't know what's going to happen. Every game, it's been a little bit different. I feel like there's something to watch now. Let's not leave out Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is working right now. It feels really good in Golden State that they're meshing. Is Golden State and Jimmy Butler a contender in your eyes, Rafa?
I think so, because Golden State, what always kind of went underrated in their era, were in their dynasty run, was because they had Durant, right? And they added Durant to a team that had already won 73 games. And so they added Durant with you could put together, they probably had 3 of the 5 best shooters we've ever seen play the game. And I'm talking about shooting the basketball all over the court, behind the arc, free throw line, everywhere, right? Clay, Steph. But that team, what people don't realize is that team was one of the best defensive teams in the league. Yes. And Jimmy brings to the Warriors that aspect of playing defense. I was watching them the other night. Dude, there was a possession where he literally guarded 3 different guys in those 24 seconds that turned out to be a shot clock violation. Like he literally went back, forth, back to the corner, to the top of the key, and then all the way back to the corner and forced that shot up with no time on the clock. Yeah. Like that's the Jimmy Butler effect that you're going to have. So when you have Draymond, you have a system that was already there that was very good defensively. That Jimmy adds to that, which is what they lost. It's not that they lost; they just got older, and Iguodala retired, and the guys just got older.
Yeah.
But Draymond can still play defense. He can still rebound the basketball, and now you add Jimmy, a guy who can score, but prides himself on playing very good defense. Like Jimmy was a phenomenal defender, and always has been for the most part in his career. So and now you see it. He's kind of like, you know what? I'm on a team that's got a chance to win a title. We got a chance to make a run. We got a head coach who's done it. A star in Curry who's done it. And I don't need to be the best player every night. Yeah. So how can I add to this team? Well, he's going to hit the mid-range shot. He's going to play defense. And that's what he's doing. And he's more than likely going to guard the best player every night. So I think Jimmy going to the Warriors, I think it brings them back a little bit more towards a defensive, and they're not a defensive-minded team. Their defense will be a lot better, and which went underrated in those runs that they had. because
for
of all
real.
the firepower.
And one of the most underrated people that people forget is Klay Thompson is known, the Splash Brothers. Klay Thompson played really good defense, perimeter defense. He wasn't a one-trick pony, and maybe that Jimmy Butler brings that defensive mentality back to the Warriors. Klay Thompson is not the defensive player that he was, but back in their run, Klay could play D up some dudes.
Klay was probably the best two-way guard in the league from like 2015 to 2018. He was the best two-way guard in the league. You can look up anybody. I'll put him up with anybody. Two-way guard, he was the best in the league, in my opinion. Defensively, offensively, nobody can contribute like that on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, and if you watched last night, he almost took the game over. He almost fucking took the Dallas Mavericks, who are missing some dudes. He almost took that game over. It's really fun to watch Klay Thompson when he starts feeling it. Giggity.
Dude, when the Mavs get AD back, it's going to be a dangerous team. I really believe so. I think they're going to be a dangerous team with AD and Lively back there.
So I think there's 9 teams in the West. I think that are over 500. The West is the best, man. The West is the best.
Always
has, always will.
West side. So what do we got? Have we covered everything NBA? Look at us, man.
Yeah.
An hour on NBA. Who knew?
Who would have thought?
Look at us.
Going into Eddie's favorite time of the year, the NFL Combine.
Yes. I want to go to St. Elmo's Steakhouse in Indy one year, Rafa. We got to go. We have to have the shrimp cocktail that is legendary in Indy. One of the best steakhouses. You go there right now. Every fucking GM, every assistant coach, they're all eating at St. Elmo's in Indy. I've never been to Indy, the state actually, but yeah, I would love to go there. Go ahead, get into. I got to take this call real quick, guys. Sorry.
All right. So Eddie's going to take a call. So Eddie, Combine starts tomorrow. Eddie's favorite time of the season. And it's his favorite time because he's a Raider fan, right? So I'll kind of break it down for Eddie while he's on his phone call. But he's a Raiders fan, and this is what they look forward to the most. My wife's uncle, who's a Chargers fan, he takes the draft day off. And like when you kind of have a team that hasn't won a championship in the Raiders in 50 years or whatever the fuck it's been. They haven't been really relevant for the last 20 since the old ass whooping they got by Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. So they have been relevant. So Ed's been this is his Super Bowl. This is a Raiders fan Super Bowl. This is the lead up to it. So and Eddie's been mock drafting for since
Probably
the Raiders
since week 8.
Yeah, probably since week 8 or 9. I was gonna say week 9, but yeah, since the Raiders played their 8th or 9th game, Eddie's been mock drafting, and so he's got all the insight. I'm all drafted out, bro. I'm not a dude. I'm watching this, looking at these quarterback class. Like, I'm not excited about this quarterback class at all. I think the wide receiver class is going to be more exciting. The defensive end, fucking give me the tight end from Pitt, Mr. Warren. I mean,
Warren.
Dude,
and this running back class. This running back class is stacked.
Man,
it's
this
pretty
running
stacked,
back.
bro.
It's fucking running backs, bro.
Oh, I appreciate the talent.
Is there a Saquon in this? Is there a Derrick Henry? Is there a Bijan?
There's Ashton Genty.
There's Ashton Genty.
She just said, yes, the West is the best in college football as well.
Okay, so this is the problem with Skin Tone. This is the problem with Skin Tone, that he doesn't understand that the West, when was the last time that we saw a national championship in the West Coast? Does he remember? Was he alive? Was he alive? I don't think he was. I don't think he was alive.
He was probably like 2 years old.
What year were you guys born?
I'm 02.
Okay, so he's probably 02 as well. 2004 USC. That's the last time a team on the West Coast has won a college national championship. So, I mean, I don't know what West is the best in college football. I'm sorry, they're not. It could be that they have the best players from the West Coast, but that we know where they play. They play in the Southeastern Conference.
And the Big Ten.
And the Big Ten. Now the Big Ten. Now, all of a sudden they showed up, but we'll see next year. But anyways, back to the draft. It's going to be exciting night. Eddie, the next whatever it is, month and a half or 2 months or whatever, He'll be
Yeah.
on
Mock draft every single day.
Oh, every single day. He'll be on high alert. He's like a scout without actually getting paid for it and anybody listening to it. So
he does it for the love of the game.
he does it for the love. He does it for the love of the game. He does it for the love of the game. And I know he's a big Jackson Dart fan. That's who he wants the Raiders to draft. Since we're on, before we get to the draft, and Eddie's not back yet. That's his kind of.
He's back right now.
I'm back.
Okay. So
Sorry.
Eddie's, yeah. So we were talking about your expertise.
Rafa was
on
explaining
draft.
why you look forward to the draft.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I mean, I guarantee I know what he said, and it's 1,000% true. It's 1,000% true. I don't even know what you said, but I know it's 1,000% true because, listen, when your season is over, week 9.
We said week 8 or 9. I said week
Oh,
9.
okay.
Everybody
There
said
we go.
week 8. So we were
I
spot
start-
on.
I start so they know because we have a group chat. This show should be called the group chat because it's based off a group chat. That I start sending mock drafts week 8 or 9 at 2 a.m. and I talk shit. I start going. I am, everyone knows I am the most pessimistic, hardcore Raider fan. I'm not the Raider guy who thinks, oh my God, we drafted you, you're going to be a Hall of Famer. Just because you wear the silver and black doesn't make you a good football player. Just because you coach in Las Vegas doesn't make you a good coach. I know Raider fans, you have a hard time with that. I know you have a very difficult time with that, but that is the truth. And if we're going to do a show, it's going to be based on fucking reality. That's why I love Rafa, because Rafa is the
Ultimate non-biased.
antithesis of fanatic. Although he does ride or die for
LeBron James.
I don't ride or die. See, and I explained this to Zach. I don't ride or die. When I see greatness, dude, I've watched LeBron James play more games than you probably watched Kobe Bryant play in his life. Okay, so you have an idea. That's how, dude.
What?
So when I tell you that I watched LeBron James play in random days of the week in random cities that you fucking would never watch him on, okay? I'm telling you what I've seen, and he's clearly proven it to you guys at the age of 40. That's my take on LeBron. I don't like LeBron as a person. I could give 3 fucks about LeBron, to be honest with you. That's dead ass. And I always give everyone their props when it's due. I give Kobe his props when they were due.
When?
I always have. Well, I'll tell you when.
Yeah,
I'll tell you when. When he
125 weeks ago when we didn't do the show.
No, I listen. I understand that Kobe is the second best shooting guard of all time. By the way, and I had something on that, but we're not going to do NBA. We're done with the NBA. But real quick, the most overrated position in basketball historically is the shooting guard position. By the way, 100%.
I mean, there's no more
100
positions.
No. 100%. Take the 15 best players ever. There's only 2 that were shooting guards. That's it.
Byron Scott, man.
Are you kidding? 15 greatest players of all time. That motherfucker's not 100. He's not 200. But if we look at it, we'll cover that when we cover NBA.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the draft. But we were spot on with our take on Eddie being why he loved
I
the
mean,
draft.
Down to the week.
Spot
Down
on.
to the week.
Down to the week.
Yeah.
We were spot on.
Yeah. But listen, guys, also, there's a conversation I heard on Dan Patrick this morning. Is the NFL combine even relevant anymore? Guys, Shedeur Sanders not throwing, big stars don't do this, they don't do that. 100% it is. And if you're a scout, obviously the medicals are huge. You get to interview a kid or a young man, I should say, and find out his psyche. And they're coached, but these guys have questions and stuff like that. You heard about the questions that Des Bryant were asked. Like, if I was asked that question, I would have fucking got up and started punching fucking coaches in the mouth. But not only that, and something stuck out to me when I heard this conversation. When you put 40 receivers together, okay, and I wasn't a Ladd McConkey fan.
What?
No, at Georgia. At Georgia. Like, okay, he didn't stand out to me. He was a good receiver, had great numbers. But when I saw Ladd McConkey go through the drills last year at the combine, he stood out. The fluid motion, the hands. When you get these guys, and this is why I think it's so important, when you get these guys together, it's just like anything. You get a group of 5 guys on a basketball court, you're going to see the best dude. I think it's important to get them together, and the cream always rises to the top. And that's why I think it will always be a thing. That's why I will always watch it, because I will see some guys that like, I didn't know about this dude. But I'm telling you, I could tell by the way he moves that he is going to be fucking good. So that being said, Rafa, I'm trying to get you on the combine train. What do you think? It's overrated? Do you not like it? Is it just a filler for, we've gone, 2 months now or a month and a half without football? We just need our fucking fix of football. Is that what you think it is?
We have gone 2 weeks without football. Not even a month or two.
For me, the combine's always been overrated. For me, always.
That's
For me, because I'm so into the NBA. I've always been so much into the NBA that it's always been just been kind of like not a thing for me. The combine, and yes, the combine is needed because we can't go based off what they did in college, because if we did that, Stetson Bennett would be number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Or Jason White, who won the Heisman, or Tim Tebow, who won the Heisman.
Ware. Andre Ware would have been the best quarterback to ever live.
Yeah, or Charlie Ward would have fucking played football, not basketball.
Yeah.
So you need the combine, obviously. So them saying that you don't need it, you definitely need it. Yeah, but I don't like that. For example, Shedeur, last year, I think Caleb Williams didn't throw, right? And now Shedeur, and you're gonna see that more and more, because these kids, they make so much money before they even get to the NFL now with NIL. So you're gonna see all that. You're gonna see all the praise that they get, and you know how we know this generation of young people is they need some sort of like pat on the back, good
heavy
shit.
petting, Rafa.
100%.
Heavy petting.
They need all of that shit. So they don't want to go to the combine. He doesn't want to go to the combine and throw. And then when the reports come out, or you got guys talking out there, well, fuck. God,
Jackson Dart.
He's not really as good. Yeah, but, you don't want, and I believe Caleb Williams didn't want any sort of disappointment when he was out there throwing or doing whatever. And Shedeur's probably the same way. Shedeur's like, oh, no, I've done whatever I've done on the field and blah, blah. Yeah, 8 wins, bro. 8 wins in a shit conference.
Well, okay. You said it, not me. In a shit conference. So what we're going to do, guys, okay, is we're going to break down 3 positions offensively this week. And then, 3 positions defensively next week. And the angle that I wanted to attack was not who's the best prospects coming out of college. That's easy. You can look up any fucking list and look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5 years from now, who do you think will be the top 5 best quarterbacks? Who do you think will be the top 5 best running backs? Who do you think the top best 5 receivers will be? And I think that's a very different conversation, because college game always doesn't translate to the NFL. And I know Rafa understands this well, and Eddie, you've watched a shit ton. And I'm hoping that you guys will stir some shit up. I have some shit to stir up. But where do you want to start?
I want you to do your list, and then we're going to pick at it and talk shit to you about it.
Yes. Okay.
I also have a list. You can talk shit about mine too.
Okay, so I have
wonderful. I don't have a list because I could give 3 fucks about any quarterback in this draft that's not named Cam Ward.
But you want to start with quarterback? Because I can start
let's start with quarterback.
Okay. So, obviously
She's just tired of you coming from our generation, Rafa.
Bro, your generation is delusional, and you guys don't understand people who have been there before, And that's basically what it is. And you guys feel like you're entitled, and because you guys think you know how to work a fucking smartphone, you guys think you're fucking geniuses. Try and live life without that shit. You motherfuckers are clueless. You know, you know how clueless your generation is? That you can go to a place five times, and the sixth time you still need the fucking map to get you there. That's how clueless you guys are.
My son's guilty. My son's fucking guilty of that shit.
That's dead ass.
It
That
takes me 3 to
100%.
4 times, and I don't need the map.
Imagine that. Imagine that. So,
You know what,
anyways,
CJ, make a video and scream as loud as you can at us, and everything will be okay.
You know what's actually hilarious that you said that, Rafa? CJ uses the map regardless of where he's
100%.
going.
100%. Because
Every single time.
He needs some sort of safety net. Like, you know, I don't know. But anyways, let's get on with the list.
Okay, so these are my 2025 top QBs that I think will be the most successful down the road. Okay, so I'm gonna stir some shit up here, man. Okay, at number, you know what? Let me start off with number 5. Okay, number 5, I'm gonna go with Will Howard, Ohio State University.
Oh,
6'4", 235, 4,000 yards, 73% completion rating, 35 TDs, 10 interceptions. To me personally, you know, this whole thing with Matt Stafford to the Raiders, I'm getting a ton of Raider fans telling me why would they do this? Why would they do this?
why not?
I bring in Matt Stafford for 2 years, and I don't think it's a great fit with Chip Kelly's offense. Don't get me wrong, but you bring him in for 2 years, and you draft Will Howard. You draft Will Howard in the 3rd round. I love his size. I love his athletic ability. I think he's one of those kids that Tom Brady will love. I think he will be the first in, the last out. He will study. He's a student of the game. He's I just think he's solid. I think in most prognostication guys, they have him 8 or 10. I love me some Will Howard. If you take away, Rafa, that Michigan game, and you can never judge anyone by their worst moment. That was probably his worst moment, right? That Michigan game. I think he, after that game, he soared and took that team to a national championship. Poke holes in my shit. Will Howard, when it's said and done, is going to be an NFL quarterback and a very good NFL quarterback. What's your thoughts?
I have him at number 5 as well.
Oh,
Although my only thing with him is that his roster was so stacked and talented. Is it a byproduct of being in a place just so good that he could have done whatever he wanted and not really made a mistake? Or when he gets to the NFL, will he have to produce with not having the best of the best around him?
I
Go ahead,
think
take
you
that,
were
Rafa.
wrong. Yes, his roster was phenomenal. You still, as good as your roster is, you still need to make the decisions. You still need to make the throws. You still need to audible, blah blah blah, etc. I agree with you. I like Will Howard, and I'm trying to figure out kind of a pro comp for Will Howard, as far because that's what I want to do actually with this list is kind of maybe pro comp all of the guys. So I can't think of one, but I'll tell you what. In 5 years from now, Will Howard will be a better NFL quarterback than Bo Nix.
woo!
Wow.
That's my take on Will Howard right there. That's just my opinion.
I like that take.
Wow,
I like
you guys
that
are
take.
not going to believe who Will Howard's pro comp is.
Who is it?
It's Mason
Bo Nix.
Rudolph.
Oh, that's fucking horrible.
Wow.
So career backup, formidable for a game here and there,
One's one. I mean,
And good for a helmet to the head.
and good for
Yeah.
a helmet to the head. I can
hopefully-
see Will Howard being better than Bo Nix in the next 5 years. I
First of
really
all,
can.
he's bigger than Bo Nix. He's bigger than Mason Rudolph, and he's more athletic than Mason Rudolph, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
So-
like him. I like him.
Okay, so let's go to my number 4 quarterback, Kyle McCord from Syracuse. Okay. McCord, another big kid, was a 5-star prospect. Now, out of these 5, he has the most yards out of any of my 5. Almost 5,000 yards, 34 TDs, 12 picks at a 66 completion rate. Okay. Just because, and head to head, he did beat Cam Ward. Kyle McCord, just because he went to Syracuse, I believe he was at Ohio State first or Alabama. He was a big recruit. He's a 5-star recruit. Kyle McCord has proven that he could slang the rock, man. And I think he's another guy that fits the profile of a guy that's going to be first in, first out, a student of the game. Obviously can throw the ball. Didn't have a ton of talent surrounding him, but still stood out. And I think Kyle McCord will be a dude in the NFL. You know, obviously this is not last year's NFL QB draft class. That was something special. But Kyle McCord, people are sleeping on him, man. And this is a dude that will impress in the next coming days. He will impress and he will shoot up the boards. I promise you at the combine, because he will give the best interviews. He will, as far as scheme wise, he'll get on the whiteboard. He's going to know his X's and O's, and he has fucking arm talent. So Kyle McCord, my number 4 prospect coming out of the NFL. And I believe he will be a starter in 2 to 3 years and be a successful playoff quarterback in the NFL.
Before we get to that, Michael Brown is completely displeased with your comment. He said, "Oh, please, Howard is not Nix."
No, he's not. He's Will Howard. He'll be better than Bo Nix. Bo Nix next year will not win 7 games. I'm sorry.
But
Anyway,
I also had.
who do you got at number 4?
I also had Kyle McCoy at number 4. I had him for more so for the reason, actually looking at Bo Nix, like you had so much time in college to get your game down really to a T and perfect at the little things, that I think if he gets in the right system in the NFL, it'll be able to translate over and not take too long.
Kyle McCord is Carson Wentz.
NFL MVP candidate.
MVP candidate?
Yeah, and then died.
Oh, he blew out his ACL.
And then he had the
And then he
Colts.
went-
He needed to win 1 game of his final handful of games to make the playoffs with a very, very good roster in Indianapolis, and couldn't do that. So Kyle McCord, Carson Wentz, that's my pro comp.
You know what? That's actually it's not a bad pro comp, actually. I mean, Carson Wentz at one point was on a trajectory like this, right? And
Steep
Yeah.
incline.
does he not have a Super Bowl ring?
Yes.
Oh no. He was with the Chiefs last year. That's right.
No,
The Chiefs didn't.
he has one
has
as
2.
a backup
Oh, as a backup to Foles, right?
to BD Nick.
Okay, here we go. This is where I'm going to start pissing people off. At
No,
number
'cause
3,
I know where it's coming.
I have Cam Ward. 6'2", 233 pounds, 67 completion rate, 4,300 yards, 39 TDs, 7 picks. Those 7 picks, Rafa, to me are, I just talked about Will Howard, who had 10, Kyle McCord, who had 12. But those 7, Rafa, is what I have a problem with. I think Cam Ward is so uber talented that he is going to have a problem next year or wherever he goes doing what he did in college. I think he probably has the best arm talent out of everyone in this thing, but you as a quarterback, you can't always rely on arm talent. You have to have a mental game. You have to be able on 3rd and 8 to sit back and throw that shit into the 6th row. And until I see Cam Ward do that and not throw across his body which 7 picks, but I could envision all 7 picks, and they were just horrible and god awful. That's why I have him at 3. I hope he goes to a team with a quarterback coach and a head coach that is defensive and is going to groom him, because I think he's the most talented of all the quarterbacks. But if I had to put my money on it, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. What do you guys think about my number 3?
Eddie Money, who do you have?
At number 3, I have Shedeur Sanders. I had Cam Ward up higher on my board. Actually, I'll get into that when we get there. But I put Shedeur Sanders at the bottom of the board because I feel like the 2 people above him just had better potential to have success in the NFL. That was mainly the reason, though. Not that Shedeur is going to be bad or anything.
Okay.
I'm going to give you my pro comp on Cam Ward. Donovan McNabb is my pro comp. Like, good enough, not good enough to win a Super Bowl, good enough to lead a team, not elite enough, but right there in the mix of the second tier kind of guys in the league in 5 years. Like right below that, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Mahomes,
Tier 2 quarterbacks.
Tier 2, whoever's tier 2. Not Lamar, not those guys, but I think something like a Donovan McNabb type player where he's going to be good enough and he might be a Pro Bowler, not next year, obviously. Like Eddie said, this is a 5-year deal. I can see Cam Ward being something like a Donovan McNabb. That's what I think about Cam Ward.
My only issue is that Donovan McNabb had Andy Reid. If Cam Ward,
we don't know who he's going to have yet. We don't know who he's going to have, and there's a lot of bright minds in the NFL. So we're just early pro comps, and I'm going to go Donovan. I'm going to go McNabb, Cam Ward as my pro comp.
Michael Brown said, Carr threw it away on 3rd and 8 all the time. Which one do you want? Make up your mind.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Zingers.
You know what? I had a problem.
He's willing to discuss this on Marco's about the Will Howard and Bo Nix things.
Oh, yeah.
We will definitely do that, Michael Brown.
That is a bet. Yeah. Michael Brown. Luckily, Michael Brown's tuned in and watching the fucking, So, yeah, that's my issue with Cam Ward is, I don't want to put him in the worst category of Jamarcus Russell. I just don't know the young man. I know he's uber talented, but will he put in that work to be an NFL quarterback? Because right now, he was in the ACC, Rafa. He barely beat Virginia Tech. He lost to Syracuse, and it was like a lot of backyard football. His ball placement, incredible. He's great in the pocket. Not a runner, by the way. Not a runner by any.
No, not a runner.
So that's my knock on Cam. But where do you think he's gonna go, Rafa? There's rumors that Raiders are trying to get him at 1. There's so many freaking rumors out right now. It's ridiculous. Where do you see Cam?
I think he goes in the top 5. I think he's in the top 5. I think is Tennessee taking a quarterback? Are they trading? Who knows? Is Cleveland going to take him? I could see Cleveland taking him. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
So
I have Cam Ward going in the top 2.
I'll say top 3. Now this is where I'm really going to piss people off. Number 2, I have Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur 6'2", 215. Now Shedeur out of this top 5 has the best completion percentage, 74%. 37 TDs. Okay, 10 INTs, 4,000 yards. And I'm not a huge fan of his quarterback play, but I do feel what Shedeur has that no one else has is a mentor and a dude in his ear who's going to be like, I feel like Shedeur will do the things it needs to take to be a good NFL quarterback. Obviously he's grown up with the biggest spotlight. He has, prime time. Of anyone, you would think Shedeur would be the most flashy, this guy and that guy. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it was last week. Shedeur Sanders walks through a basketball court, and what's her name? The LSU basketball star,
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese was like, "Oh, he's gonna talk." Her face of disappointment when he didn't acknowledge her. The fact that he brushed off Cam Newton, I feel like Shedeur might have the best head of all these quarterbacks. That he might, he might. Yeah,
full Diddy in this bitch.
full
too,
Diddy,
bro.
full Diddy. in this
Full
bit.
Diddy. Yeah,
He
we
might
never
have-
go no Diddy. We go full Diddy here.
Yeah.
Don't
I
even
just
matter.
think Shedeur, because of his mentorship from his father, I think Shedeur understands it's not about flash. Listen, he has badass watches, he has drip as he should. He has the fucking money to do it. But I feel like Shedeur might be the most grounded of all these quarterbacks, and he is going to do what it takes to be a great quarterback in the NFL. That's why I have him at number 2. Thoughts?
Eddie Money,
Question.
you have Cam Ward at number 2?
I have Jackson Dart at number 2.
Okay, we'll cover Jackson next because I think that's Eddie's number 1 for sure.
Obviously.
Yeah, so we'll do Shedeur. Dude, I'm trying to what I don't like about Shedeur, watching him play the last 3 years and more so this year, and people could say his offensive line sucked. Fine. He takes too many sacks. There were too many plays where he could have escaped the pocket and been able to run the ball, and he doesn't run the
Yes.
ball enough. And I don't understand why he doesn't. Maybe because he doesn't want people to think he can run the ball, or he doesn't want to be looked at as another running quarterback. That's what I don't like about Shedeur. That's probably the only thing that I don't like about Shedeur is that he doesn't run when he should, and he takes sacks when he shouldn't. And obviously that will improve. He's going to improve on that far and away, and it'll all depend on the coaching staff how they go at him, right? And I think you should just go at him. It's Deion's son, and he's mentored by Brady or whatever, but you got to go right at him and let him know, hey, bud, you have these lanes where you can get out there and run for 5 or 6, get out of bounds. There's balls you can throw away. Jay doesn't throw away any balls. But you can get rid of, you can get some throws, and take the loss. Don't take the loss of yards. Taking sacks, the sacks that he took near the sideline, stuff like that. Like, you were so close, throw it away. You're stepping out of bounds for losses, and that to me is a big mental part of the game. So I'm trying to figure out kind of a comp for Shedeur. But the other guys, I'm kind of thinking they run a little bit more than he does. So I'm not really sure on a comp for Shedeur. Do you have somebody in mind, Eddie?
Well, first of all, I agree with you 5,000%. 5,000%. That is his one weakness. And we've said this for 2 years about Shedeur. If he could implement Patty Mahomes' escapability and just knowledge to, like, hey, I'm gonna go run and get 6 yards, he will be 74% completion rating, Rafa.
He's phenomenal.
I know, but we both agree 100% his Achilles heel is that he wants to prove that he's a pocket quarterback. When you can run,
when you're completing 74% of your passes and throwing 4,000, you threw for 4,000 yards and you threw for 37 touchdown passes, you don't need to prove anybody else shit. And he's probably not going to see this because we're a couple of nobodies here in a fucking some offices.
His brother has seen us,
but
one of his sons.
Yeah, so I mean, he doesn't he doesn't need to show us shit. But in reality, when you watch him play, that to me is his only fault that I saw. And I know the line was bad.
Yeah,
I know the line was bad, but that was his only fault. And I watched him play every week. There were those plays that he could have easily thrown the ball away or taken off. And I know he wants to, throw the ball and all that, and he's great doing it. But I think, listen, if he adds that, aspect of being able to run the ball a little bit, I can see his ceiling being a prime Russell Wilson type player. But I need him to be able to run the ball a little bit. I'm not asking you to run it like Lamar or Josh Allen, but Shedeur, you got to give me a little bit of Patrick Mahomes, maybe a little bit of Justin Herbert, a little bit of that. That's what I would like to see. I want Shedeur to be prime Russell Wilson. I don't want Shedeur to get a $250 million contract and end up like Trevor Lawrence.
We are on the same page with that shit, Rafa. We are on the same page. We see the same thing.
CBS's pro comp of Shedeur Sanders was Geno Smith.
Oh, that's awful.
Ouch.
That's awful. And people can say whatever the fuck they want. And Geno was awful with the Jets. And yeah, it was the Jets, and Sam Darnold was awful with the Jets and all that. And he did some things with Seattle, but not a quarterback that's going to get you to a title game. Whether it's an NFC title game, an AFC title game, I don't think he's going to get you to that. So I think Geno Smith is a terrible comp for Shedeur.
We got the tricksters in the house. What does Trickster have to say about this?
Sled, here's my wrench. Dion is going to bust a Laker move. Have to take both Sanders. If not, no deal. Shedeur has to be number one. Take it or leave it. And then Michael Brown says Shedeur Sanders isn't going to lead anyone anywhere either.
Wow. The hate.
Wow. The hate from
hate.
Michael
Leading
Brown.
his brothers to a draft pick, okay?
Yeah, his brother will get drafted.
Yes, he will.
And he's not very good, by the way.
And then Eddie's number one.
My number one is Jackson Dart, man. And first of all, he played in the toughest conference of all these quarterbacks.
Thank you, Eddie.
In the SEC. And that's just a fact. Will Howard played in the Big Ten. Still not, last year was not the toughest conference. Jackson Dart, 29 touchdowns, 6 INTs, which if you know and you follow Jackson Dart, he had 3 of the worst INTs at the worst time possible, cost him a playoff fucking spot against Florida. Okay, so that means the motherfucker had 3 interceptions. Okay, the ratio is crazy. 69% completion rating in the SEC.
Oh yeah.
And if you see everything that he shined at the Senior Bowl, people were raving. This guy is going to go to the combine. He is going to throw every pass. Going to be an incredible leader. Jackson Dart, to me, in 5 years. And this is excluding if Rafa and I talked about if Shedeur doesn't implement this, running, Jackson Dart is athletically probably the best all-around quarterback. And I think, and I said it before on Cut, that Jackson Dart will be picked, and I said this wrong the last time, 12th or higher. And I promise you he is going to shine at this combine. And I think when it's all said and done, Jackson Dart, and I'm curious. I haven't done comps yet, Rafa, but I'm curious to hear your comp of Jackson Dart.
People are gonna hate me for this.
Oh god.
People are gonna hate me for this. They're gonna be like, this guy's a fat fucking idiot. And just so you know, I was fatter than this. It
You
was
look great,
possible.
Rafa. You look fucking
But
great.
Likewise. But my comp for Jackson Dart is Andrew Luck.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Holy
say
shit.
I'm gonna
Wow.
say Andrew Luck. I'm gonna say Andrew Luck. That's my comp for Jackson Dart. I think he was phenomenal, and Eddie was spot on. They played in a conference with arguably the most talent in college football.
Not even close.
So and I really like Jackson Dart. I think he could be Andrew Luck type quarterback.
Wow. I was expecting like something. I don't know. Wow. Damn.
I like it because the kid loves football. Kids from Utah went to USC, and when he got to Ole Miss, he is an Ole Miss quarterback. He embraced the culture. He led the team. They're talking about Jackson Dart and his leadership, even at the Senior Bowl. Like, he has that presence, right? And that's what you want as a quarterback. For Tom Brady to walk in there, it's about presence, about confidence. AR-15, tapping, still, that shit's insane. That's something that you're never going to get from any other quarterback. But I believe that Jackson Dart, not the best arm talent, but top 3, not the most athletic, but top 3 athletically. I believe. I think he's top 3 with Milroe and Shador, Cam Ward. I think he's still top 3 athletically. He gets it. He reminds me a lot of the UNC quarterback from last year. He takes off when he needs to. Drake May. He reminds me a lot of Drake May. And that's why I believe when all said and done, Jackson Dart will be like, and if you can get him, in the top 20, I'm telling you, man, he's gonna be a star.
Watch out with the Jets
Wow.
taking Jackson Dart.
Dude, I've heard the Jets want to go all in.
Before we get to that comment,
God.
I had Cam Ward at number 1 and Jackson Dart at number 2. I put Cam Ward at 1 purely because, like, I think if he gets an offensive-minded coordinator, head coach, and gets in a very good system, I think his ceiling is like limitless. Like
His ceiling is the roof, all the Michael Jordan.
yeah, I think it'd be insane because he's just so talented. And then if he could get someone to just probably dumb that system down, like Kingsbury did for Jaden Daniels, he could have that type of same rookie year, in my personal opinion.
Cam Ward is not the athlete that Jaden Daniels is.
No, hell.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
No,
but,
what he's
like,
saying though is it kind
You got
of
what I'm trying to say, Rafa?
I 100% shrink the playbook a little bit, make it simpler, let him do his thing with his gifts, his talent.
But what I'm saying is the reason why Jaden Daniels succeeded because he did half of that shit with his feet.
Well, not half, but he did a lot.
Not half, but yeah. He was unstoppable at times.
And then Michael Brown says, "So when do we discuss DJ Uyunglele? Would love Eddie's breakdown."
Does DJ get drafted?
Oh man.
Man,
Oh man. You're putting us on the spot here.
Does DJ get drafted?
I don't think he gets drafted. I think DJ, I think he has the arm talent. I think a lot of circumstances went wrong, but I think what DJ's biggest issue are his feet. His feet. He has
Always been.
cinder blocks for feet, and coaches have. He's athletic. He is athletic. There's no question, but his feet are too heavy, and in the NFL, even Ben Roethlisberger had light feet for being as big as he was. So and DJ, I love you. I know you don't watch the show. I know you're never gonna watch it, but I still love you. He will get undrafted. He will get a shot because the eye test. That's a good question. Is DJ even at the combine? I bet he didn't even get an invite because you have to be invited to the combine.
Right.
I have a strong suspicion he won't even be throwing like slants or swing routes to guys.
he was not invited to the combine.
Yes, that's a big deal to not get invited because NFL scouts, there's dudes from William and Mary, there's dudes from Faith Baptist, there's dudes from if you have the possible potential, you will get invited. So
fucking Michael Brown. Michael Brown's killing DJ out here. So listen real quick. So we wrapped up the what we think are the you guys think is the 5 best quarterbacks in the draft after 5 seasons. Now let's do a little bit shorter. Do you see any of these quarterbacks in this draft being next year's Bo Nix or Jaden Daniels or the previous year CJ Stroud? And by that I mean leading a team to the playoffs.
So I will say whoever, if the Jets do, because I know the Jets want Matthew Stafford. The Giants also want Matthew Stafford. The Raiders want Matthew Stafford. I don't think Cleveland's ready. I don't think Cleveland is a plug and play, but I do believe that the Jets have the talent. If a Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, or Shador gets drafted to the Jets, I think that's the only team that could really make the playoffs because defensively they were so dang good, and you still have offensive weapons.
I think so. I think if the Stafford gets traded and the Rams pick up somebody decent, I think they have a chance.
Okay,
Just because
so let me rephrase. Let me rephrase the question real quick.
Oh wait, no, you asked
got-
a certain person.
No, the thing is that you guys, you're looking for a team that's already ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, because they went to teams that nobody
yeah.
expected them to do shit, as
Okay.
CJ Stroud the previous
Okay.
year. So
Okay.
can one of these guys lead one of these teams, whether it's Tennessee, whether it's the Giants, whether it's the Browns, teams that missed the playoffs last year, teams that and Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels and also CJ Stroud the previous year, those teams didn't even have win totals of 6. So I'm talking one of these guys go to one of those teams. Can one of those guys lead a team to the playoffs as those 3 quarterbacks I named?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Because I don't think any of them are ready yet.
Okay.
That sucks because
I think Kyle McCord has a chance.
Wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a bold statement, man.
Well, remember I placed him I personally placed him in my list number 4.
Yeah.
I was comparing his time to what he did as to how long Bo Nix spent in college. Figuring that he's just he spent a lot of time looking at the game, so I'm assuming he could translate over. And
he's a quarterback. Well, he is 100% a fucking quarterback, and you might be right. He might be the most NFL ready. Actually, you might be right about that, Eddie Money. You might be right. He might be the most NFL ready.
Well, that was my question for you guys.
Yeah. So before we move on, let's talk about this Matt fucking Stafford fucking deal. Because I'm kind of in amazement that the Rams don't want to pay this dude another 2 years for $50 million. Everyone's like, the narrative is Matthew Stafford wants to go to a playoff ready team. Motherfucker, the Rams were not playoff ready last year, and you took them to the playoffs. Like, what is going on here, Rafa? Why don't the Rams want to re-sign Matthew Stafford for 2 years? Do they know something we don't? Because to me, and like a lot of Raider fans reach out, what are we doing? Why do we want him? Are you fucking kidding me? Matthew Stafford's one of the best quarterbacks. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. He's one of the best quarterbacks. I mean, he's top 25 all time. And
what?
He top 25 all 25.
Like ever?
I will say
we'd have to look at the list, but I mean, we can do it.
I mean, what he did, what he did, right? Okay, first of all, he's the toughest SOB you've ever seen. You saw him get killed in Detroit for fucking 10 years and got up and didn't fucking complain, put it all on his shoulders. You saw when he got to a team that could do something, fucking guy won a Super Bowl. You see the no-look throws. You talk to any fucking rookie this year, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, they all mentioned, who do you watch film of? They all said Matthew Stafford. Like, when was the thing of disrespect? I don't get it. I don't get this thing of why you wouldn't want Matthew Stafford, other than his wife has a big mouth. I just broke a rule. Sorry. Yeah, but
big rule.
I don't understand the disrespect, and I don't understand. Can we cover this for 5 minutes and we'll move on?
Yeah, I don't understand either. But you know, he had neck issues before, and he's clearly past that, right? So for the Rams to not want him back, what do the Rams know that we don't know? Probably nothing. They just maybe don't want to pay him, and maybe they feel that they're good enough where they don't need to pay him. Maybe they need to add other pieces somewhere else and take someone, maybe a temporarily Sam Darnold or whatever.
Dude,
But
I've heard Jimmy Garoppolo. Rafa.
I've heard Jimmy Garoppolo as well, and that's kind of to me, in my opinion, that's kind of the cockiness of McVay throwing out there. You know, Jimmy Garoppolo, I like him too. Like, you know, in his head, he's probably thinking, you know, I can even win with Jimmy.
Yeah, I did this with Jared Goff. I did this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that could be that. But you have to look at it. We can go back to last year with Kirk Cousins, where he got a shit ton of money. Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback today than Kirk Cousins was last year and the year before that and the year before that. So for any team, now I'll tell you something. As a Raider fan, you shouldn't want Matthew Stafford because
hell yeah!
I'm telling you why.
Wait, what do you mean? Hell yeah, Eddie.
You're
perfect bridge quarterback.
A bridge quarterback. Matthew Stafford, you can't have $100 million bridge quarterback. That's not how this works. You're not ready, and you have to look at it as a Raider fan. If you would have brought in Matthew Stafford this year or last year when you had Devontae and Brock Bowers was a rookie, you didn't know what he was, but he was a top 13 or 14 pick or whatever it was. Like, if you had Devontae still there, you had a receiver, you had other weapons, I think that would be a great move for the Raiders. Today, I don't think it is. I think the Jets should go all in on Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
They went all in on Aaron Rodgers and thought that's all they needed. The Jets are a team that should go all in on Matthew Stafford. Miami, if they had the balls and could find a trade suitor for Tua, should go all in on Pittsburgh, all in on Matthew Stafford. Those teams are teams that are ready, that are well-rounded. The Raiders, I'm sorry, are not well-rounded. There's too many missing pieces to the Raiders. And everybody, the NFL, it's season, it's year to year, and blah, blah, blah. At the end of the year, in the fucking Super Bowl, look who the teams are. Look who the last 4 teams were this year. Buffalo, Detroit, Philadelphia, Kansas City. So it hasn't been a year to year. Okay, the Redskins were in there, but lost by fucking 25 or whatever. The Raiders will, even with Matthew Stafford, will be the 3rd best team in their division. That's their peak with Matthew Stafford at this point. So I don't think the Raiders move. I think the Jets to Matthew Stafford, phenomenal. Great fucking move. Pittsburgh, Matthew Stafford, great fucking call.
Yeah.
I don't see it for the Raiders. Like it just, what are you going to do? Draft Shedeur or Jackson Dart and have him sit behind Matthew Stafford for 2 years and watch him lose?
Hey,
Matt's right. Matt wants to go to a team that's a playoff roster, and Pittsburgh would be the most logical for me for Matthew Stafford if he leaves the Rams.
Okay. Well,
that's my
team. No. You're right now. I want to say, that magically the Raiders will, through free agency, fix their offensive line, get 2 receivers, get a running back. But that's a far reach, and I haven't stretched yet.
Real quick, one more team that has the kid coming back who didn't play last year because he got hurt, and you saw what a turd did with that roster, and you can see what Matthew Stafford can do with running backs and a team that plays defense. How about the Minnesota Vikings? Go all in on Matthew Stafford. If you're the Vikings,
okay.
Think about it. You're Minnesota. You were this close with Matthew. You were phenomenal with Sam Darnold. Imagine Matthew Stafford throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson and T.J. Hawkinson and Jordan Addison.
Oh my God!
Imagine that Minnesota.
Rafa just gave me the goosebumps right now.
Yeah, it's a little chilling as well,
dude.
For Minnesota,
dude. That is a great call. Amazing call.
Michael Brown says Vikings are in Super Bowl, Stafford.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh my gosh!
And can you imagine
the no-look throws to Jordan Addison?
But can you imagine Matthew Stafford going to another team? He joined the Rams first season, wins the Super Bowl. Imagine going to Minnesota or even Pittsburgh. Minnesota, I think, is a better roster, and then going and winning a Super Bowl with Minnesota. I mean, what does that say about Matthew Stafford? You'd have to put him in somewhere in your top 10 somewhere. Forget top 25. You got to boost that motherfucker way up.
Man, can we block this from all Minnesota They don't need to hear this
Don't
knowledge.
give him the idea.
Yeah, don't give them that fucking amazing idea. My God.
Make sure you edit that part first. We need to get it out. Stephen A. watches his show and he's going to put it out tomorrow morning.
Yes, yes.
He's gonna go live like 2 hours before. it
I'm
comes
tired
out.
of Stephen A.'s bullshit, stealing my thoughts.
Yeah, 100%. That being said, let's go into running backs, where I'm gonna piss some people off again.
Before we get into the stuff, I've told Rafa that this is an insanely stacked running back class, and he couldn't care less.
I could
Okay.
give 3 fucks about running back.
Okay, so I do have a comment on this. Is this the most insane stacked running back class, or has the NFL and the football world changed their whole thought process on running backs?
No, I
It's
think
the
this
year.
one is insanely stacked.
I don't know, man.
Dude,
Okay, I think it's really good.
It's insanely good.
dude, I
It's really good.
I think it's overhyped, and you're loving it because everyone's loving it because of what Saquon did to the Eagles. Saquon was the perfect fit for the Eagles because of their style. You could have put Saquon on the Giants and not do shit. Oh wait, he was. So I'm not
Well,
I'm
but
not a
not
fan.
But not only that, Rafa, it was the disrespect of the running back position. And not obviously Saquon is the poster child for disrespecting a running back, and see what he's done. That is the best example. But Derrick Henry, you saw what he did, you know. Okay.
The team had Derrick Henry, and they accomplished more the previous season than they did last year.
Oh man, but they
Which
were
hurts.
bet-
Which
yeah, but
hurts
they
because
were
they
a
were
better
technically
team.
better. They were technically
team.
better.
Okay. I'm glad you said that. Josh Jacobs, disrespected running back, had the an incredible fucking year. So it's a great question, Eddie Money. Is the running back position now just now valued again, or is this a great running back class? I think it's a mixture of
think
both.
I think it's both. I think them three did boost up, the running backs value again. But also, like, you could go down this list of like 15, 20 running backs and say, I
Wow.
would take them easily.
Oh yeah, you think the Raiders are going to get a running back in the top 3 rounds, and they're going to get a good running back, a very good running back.
Well, let's get into
Let's
it.
get into it. Okay, so I'm going to go number 5. Okay, and that is number 1 from Ohio State, Quinshon Judkins, 6 foot 219. Now remember, when I give you these, Rafa, I know you don't have a pen and pad, but I'm going to give rushing attempts here, and this is going to stand out, and this is going to be a theme in my top 5. 194 carries, 1,060 yards, average 5.5 carries, 14 touchdowns, 86 yards was his longest touchdown. He has a speed. He has great size. He split carries with Trevion Henderson, okay, who I said was a favorite to win the Heisman at the beginning of the season. So that was stupid of me. But both running backs from Ohio State are great. To split carries, get 1,000 yards, I think is just an incredible accomplishment with not a great offensive line. That's my 5 thoughts.
Eddie Money,
Questions?
He is on my list, but he's not number 5.
he's higher up.
Wow.
Number 5, I have Cam Scatterbo.
I have Cam as my dark horse. Cam, 293 attempts, 1,700 yards, 5.8 average yards a carry, 21 touchdowns. Why I think Cam will go in the top 3 rounds is because he's very versatile. You saw what he did. He was the offense. He could catch the ball. He's a great receiver out of the backfield. My issue with Cam Scatterbo is that he was so physical in college, Rafa. Can he be physical like that in the NFL?
No, I think he can.
I think he can.
I think
Really?
he can. Yeah, I think he can. I don't think he's going to be Derrick Henry physical.
Yeah, no, he's not that physical.
Well,
but he's
he
5'11",
doesn't have
215.
the size. That's my issue, is that he's going to try and play as physical. And we're talking about bigger, faster, stronger men. with like mortgages and 3 kids and a wife and a girlfriend on the side. They have a lot of responsibilities.
I like the kid. I like the kid from Ohio State. I like him better than probably any running back in this class. And I'm gonna comp him at Birdman I'm sorry, Mr. Dirty Bird, Jamal Anderson himself.
So you're talking about
Jukic.
okay, all right.
Andrew, I was talking about this on the phone with Andrew yesterday. He gave Judkins, his pro comp was DeMarco Murray.
That's pretty legit.
Very high praise.
Yeah, DeMarco Murray was a dog.
Jamal Anderson was better than DeMarco Murray.
I'm just saying that's what his comp was.
Dirty Bird, man.
The Dirty Bird. Okay, so at my number 4 is Caleb Johnson from Iowa. 6 foot, 225, 240 carries, 1,500 yards, 6.4 average, 21 touchdowns, a long of 75. I don't know if this is just a bias by me, but if you play for the University of Iowa football, I'm drafted. I just think of all the dogs that come out of Iowa. It's just they all seem to be great. Obviously, tight end, tackles. Think about the linebackers, Epinesa, the defensive end. There's something about Iowa football and the culture there that they're just dogs.
They played hard football, man. They play hard football.
Yeah. I mean, they don't give a shit about entertaining people. They don't give a shit. They're going to run the ball and play defense. They're going to chomp on their fucking corn sideways, not long ways. And that's why I think this kid is undervalued. And when you play for Iowa, I think you're that dude. So I have Johnson at number 4.
Thomas Jones.
He's also my number 4.
Nice.
He was amazing during the season.
He's gonna be Thomas Jones.
Come on, man. Come on.
1,000-yard rusher here and there. Not as good as his brother, but good enough.
Okay.
I could have got Najee Harris. I mean,
That's a great. I mean,
yeah.
Najee Harris has 1,000 yards rushing every single year.
Yeah, barely.
Najee had
an ugly
great
1,000.
Ugly 1,000, but 1,000 to 1,000, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ugly
Good point.
1,000.
Good point. So at number 3, I have Ashton Jeanty. Now hear me out. Out of this list of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, Ashton Jeanty has 374 carries. He has almost 100 more carries than everyone on my list. And let's not forget that Boise State wasn't a one-trick pony. They had receivers, they had a good quarterback, but it was a continuous feeding of the rock to Ashton. And although he had a 7-point average per carry, he busted a ton of long runs.
He busted a lot.
He did bust a lot. Giggity. First of all, you're not going to get 374 fucking carries in the NFL.
No.
That you might get 200, So when you compare my running backs, I'm really taking into account just sample size. Okay. Where do you have? I know you probably have number 1.
I have a number 1, but number 3, I put Quinshon Judkins.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to give you my pro comp on Ashton Jeanty, and this is where I think he's even going to land. D'Angelo Williams.
Carolina Panthers?
Carolina Panthers.
Mississippi? No. Memphis. Yeah.
Go Tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Different Tigers, but still Tigers.
I mean, he was a really good running back for 3 years in the NFL.
He was a really good running back for 3 years, and that's what I think Ashton Jeanty is going to be. Really good quarterback for 3 years.
How do you feel about that, Eddie Money? You don't feel disrespected? I mean, you guys glazed Jeanty all year.
Oh
Now's your time. The glaze, right?
Should have. He he was great. All right, he's gonna do. He'll. I don't know if he's gonna get drafted into a starting running back spot.
Well,
Oh,
he
he will.
better.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, I think purely because of just height. Like, he's a great runner, but like a lot of teams look at the measurables first before even considering people.
Rafa, you're a Dallas guy. At 12, and
No.
Ashton Genty is there.
No
come,
way.
Come on. It makes too
No
much
way,
sense.
because it makes too much sense, and that's what you hear all the Cowboy fans. But you need an offensive lineman if you're Dallas.
Yeah,
I'm
Zach
sorry.
Martin just retired too.
Yeah.
So you need an offensive line in
But-
Dallas before you can think about a running back. And
But
this running
that
back
is-
draft being so
That's
Sorry.
right.
there's
For
so
running
many
back
backs.
heavy, yeah.
You can get a back in the third round. So
That's not.
I agree with
Eddie,
that.
do you have
No.
Scatabo in your top 5? Eddie, no, right?
I have him honorable mention. He is my 6th.
By the way, it kind of came to me a little bit. Scatabo, my pro comp for Scatabo is Michael Turner. And
Oh,
if you remember Michael
Wisconsin?
Turner, if you remember Michael Turner, he backed up LT. He was a very physical runner, and then he
Yeah.
went to Atlanta. He
Yeah.
was a very physical runner,
Yeah.
and that's what I think Cam could be a Michael Turner type. Rush for 1,000 yards, maybe 1,200. He was
Nice
very
pull.
physical.
nice.
So
pull.
I thought he was on your list.
I have
No,
for
I know
HM.
Eddie Money had him at 5. So
yeah, my honorable mention was I had 2. I had Damian Martinez and Ollie Gordon.
Damian Martinez. Watch out. He's ranked like 12th or 15th. And I believe Damian Martinez can be a dude. I love that pull, Eddie Money. I love that pull.
Thank you.
Love that pull because I think he's legit.
let's get to number 2.
Okay, so number 2 for me is Omarion Hampton from my North Carolina Tar Heels. Okay, 6 foot 220, my perfect size for a running back. 280 carries, 1,600 yards, average 5.9 a carry, 15 TDs. Why I think Omarion is so I just think why he could be so good is because UNC was garbage last year. They were on their 4th quarterback. You knew you had one thing to stop when you played UNC, and that was Omarion Hampton, and he still ran the shit out of the ball. And that's why I have him at number 2. I think he will be a steal. Not the sexiest pick, but yeah,
But the right pick.
but the right pick.
I'm gonna
I
say
also have him at number 2.
I'm gonna say Darren McFadden as a pro comp.
Run DMC, baby.
Very high praise.
Yeah, Run DMC. Just went to the wrong team.
No, he didn't.
He did very
He did phenomenal.
He
Yeah,
did
he
very
did.
well in Dallas
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah. So let's move on to my number 1. Okay, and this is the guy who I've had praise for over a year. That's Travion Henderson. In my top 5, Rafa, in my top 5, he has the lowest amount of carries, 144 carries. Okay, now let me remind you, Ashton Genty had 374, almost 2.5 times more. Okay, Travion Henderson, 5'10", 208, 1,016 yards, highest average per carry out of all these guys at 7.1 yards a carry, 10 touchdowns. I think Travion Henderson probably, he won a national championship, so I don't think he went to the wrong place. But when you go to Ohio State, you got to understand, you're going to have to share the rock.
He would have
And-
had the backfield to himself, but Judkins transferred in.
And that's what I thought probably why I had him, but I think he is I think speed-wise, I think he has the entire package. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but that's who I have at number 1.
Wow.
I like him too. I really like him.
Yeah.
I like him. I like him where I can see his ceiling his ceiling
Yes.
which is crazy to say, and people are gonna be like, this fucking dude. It's probably a Saquon type player.
I agree, man.
That's
Saquon,
Crazy.
Adrian Peterson type back right here. I think he's the best back in the draft, and I can see him going in the top 10. If you're going to take a back, I would take him number 1 as well.
Me and Rafa on the same fucking page here. he is a threat. Whether it's a swing out of he's a threat to go the distance every fucking
Every time.
Every time. And we've seen it. You know, and that's what Omarion Hampton doesn't have. He's more of a break tackles guy. That's what, you know, I don't think Genty has that top line speed that a Travion Henderson has. Now
No, not even close.
We're gonna find out, but yeah, I think Travion Henderson, and I promise you, he won't go in the first round. He's a second, and I think people are gonna regret it.
He's going to be
But-
phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
I agree.
Phenomenal.
Real quick before I move on to receivers, I drop bombs. He asked on Instagram, "Who is your best running back of all time?" Since we're on college, we can keep it. Who is your best college running back of all time?
Ooh,
But,
man.
I mean, it has to be Barry Sanders, right? But that's not who I watch play. So I can't say. For me, it's Adrian Peterson that I watched play at Oklahoma. That I watched for me was Adrian Peterson.
So did he ask college and NFL?
No, he just said college.
Oh, that's easy for me. That's Reginaldo Buch. Reginaldo Buch from the 609. Reggie Bush, I mean, was the most electrifying running back I have ever seen in college. Did it work out in the NFL? No. But college-wise, Reggie Bush, come on, Rafa. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at it as a running back position. I don't. He was not. He was a threat everywhere on the field, obviously. But if we're talking about handing the ball off, for me, watching play in the backfield was AP, Adrian Peterson. They called him all day, Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma. He was phenomenal. I didn't see Barry Sanders, and so I didn't see Barry Sanders. I was too little to watch Barry Sanders. For me, for me, it was Adrian Peterson. Watching him play. So Reggie Bush was great. There's no doubt about it. But when I'm talking about a running back, like Reggie Bush didn't run the ball enough for me to sit here to say, you know, that he's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal player, but he did a lot of things, you know, outside the numbers.
All right.
So
Before we go on, last thing.
he was great,
Since
though. No doubt
so
about it.
we do need a cup bet. I'm willing to bet that Quinshon Judkins goes before Travion Henderson in the draft.
Ooh. I will
It's a good bet.
take your cut bet. And is there odds involved or whatever? Because
We'll get them. Probably I don't know. I don't know what they would be, but
so here's the deal. He's probably going to run a better 40, maybe. You know, he's
maybe
a
like
lot.
by a tenth of a second.
Yeah, he's lighter. He's lighter in the ass, I believe.
Are you doing some personal research there?
Eddie.
It-
Wow.
uh,
Wow. Wow. These are just
You know what?
idiots, eh?
Actually,
Full Diddy on this bitch.
yeah.
Full Diddy in this motherfucker. Eddie's got baby oil written with the fucking with
Yes,
his name
yes,
on
I
it.
have a whole box
And
load over
he's
there.
got Henderson fucking just boom.
Oh, Sinead's putting you on blast, by the way. 619, not 609.
Oh,
Thank you,
damn.
Sinead.
Yeah.
I didn't want to
Sinead.
tell him.
609 is, yeah, I thought that was Rey Mysterio. I thought he said, no, that was 619. He's also 619. My bad. Let's do that. Let's cut bet that. Eddie Money. Go find us on Cut at Bosco Ed. I have Travion Henderson going before Quinshon Judkins as not the first running back, but
But who will be
Uh,
taken first out of them two?
yeah.
Yeah,
I like it,
think
Eddie
I think Judkins will go first. He's
Hey,
phenomenal.
Here's the thing though. He had let's talk about it. He had almost 50 more carries and 60 more yards, Eddie Money. 50 more carries. He averaged 5.5 yards a carry.
Hey man,
I mean, that's
I-
still good. I mean, that's nothing to fucking, you know.
I think Judkins' vision, his mobility, his agility
Rose
on
Bowl?
the field.
Like
Yeah.
you had the angle.
I could see what he was seeing when I was at the Rose Bowl, man.
Oh man, my wife.
But yeah,
called me
use code
out.
2 Nobody's for your first deposit. Use 10% back on your first deposit. Go download Cut. Find us on there if you want to get on a bet with us. Moving on to wide receivers. We have to pick this one up a little bit, though.
Yeah.
So much.
Okay. So receivers, I have 10 of them. We won't go through all 10 of them. I'm gonna go number
Let's just do
5.
5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jack Beck, TCU. This kid, the white kid from TCU. Great story. Had a great Senior Bowl. Won Senior Bowl MVP. Had a buddy die. He's a great story. I think this is one of those Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua type guys. No one can cover him, and he has size. He's like 6'2", 210. I think whoever gets this dude, I'm telling you, he could be the best receiver out of this whole entire group.
Wow.
So-
high praise. High praise.
Wow.
I think he's the character, like just that dude. He just has that aura about him that he's that dude, and that's Jack Besh from TCU.
Cooper
me,
Kupp, great,
at
great, by the way.
Number 5, I have Luther Burden III from Missouri.
Yes, that's my number 4, Burden. If you remember last year, coming into this year, he was probably the highest ranked receiver. Kind of disappointed, and it's not. He had a quarterback. It's just when you come from
the
Missouri-
team was disappointing, though.
Yes, that's
The
what I was
team
going to say.
disappointing.
It's like the opposite from when you come out of Iowa. You come out of Iowa, you're a dog. When you come out of Missouri, it's just like wah wah wah. When's the
Right.
last good dude
Yeah.
to come out of Missouri? I don't know what it is.
It's like you're
That-
a bitch or gay or gay. Michael
yeah.
Sam. Michael
Yeah.
Sam.
Maybe
Missouri.
that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. That or Blaine Gabbert. One of those two just totally fucked it up for them.
Yeah.
But
Mizzou Tigers, man.
yeah, who else you got
Um,
at number 3?
So I
So
have
your number
Burden,
4 was the Burden, right?
I had Burden at 4.
My
Would you
number
have
4
anyone?
was Trey Harris.
Man.
That's a good receiver, man. That's a good receiver right there.
You can hear it in Ramos' voice.
That's a fucking good receiver right there. Anquan Bolden remake. Right
So
there.
Trey Harris,
6'3",
6'3",
210, baby.
6'3", 210, 60 receptions, 1,000 yards, 7 TDs.
By the way, he was hurt. He was
was hurt.
hurt. And every time that he was hurt, you saw it in Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You saw that it affected, and Jackson Dart was phenomenal. But when he was out, that's where they struggled.
Agree. He's not on my top 5 though.
Oh, that's a
Wow.
fucking awesome
Yeah.
fucking receiver.
Yeah.
To me, that could have been the best receiver.
Yeah,
But
if he would have
maybe.
not had those injuries, yeah.
I would have put him up at 1 or 2. My number 1 is probably Eddie's number 1, but we'll get to it.
Yeah.
should all have
My,
the same
my number
number.
4, real quick. Emeka Ibuka, 6'1", 205, Ohio State. I think he's gonna be phenomenal, man. I think he might be overlooked because it's like, oh, Ohio State. There, I think he's special. I've heard amazing things about him. I've heard that he is a leader, a vocal leader, unlike a Marvin Harrison Jr. who sits on the sidelines and is like whatever. He has character, and that's what you want. I don't care, man. I want my receiver to give me the damn ball. I want my receiver not to be reading books. I want my
You want a
receiver.
diva.
Yes, that's what I want. And not that he's a diva. I only heard positive about him, but I think he's going to be special. So that's why I have that.
He is my number 3. I've enjoyed watching for the past 2 seasons. I was really expecting a big season from this year, but unfortunately just went to Jeremiah Smith. But I think he'll
Phenomenal.
also have a similar season to JSN in the pros. Just a great slot. Probably takes a year or two to really find his niche.
Reminds me a lot of JSN, actually. A lot.
Yeah.
We're on number 3.
You're number
right?
3.
2. My number
Number
3 is going to be Travis Hunter. And I think he's going to be special. I really do. I think he's almost a better receiver than he is a cornerback. I think he'll be used both. I mean, you can't argue with his numbers. First in touchdowns, 5th in yards. People want to look past him. But if you're going to draft Travis Hunter, you have to use him on both sides of the ball because he's too athletic and too explosive not to use him at the wide receiver position.
Agreed. I have him at number 2.
All right.
I like Travis Hunter. I like him better at receiver than I do at corner. I think at
Be
corner,
some,
he,
yeah, some of the
I think
catches he made, man, is just
yeah, no. I think he's a better receiver, in my opinion. They want to put him at corner. They want to push him out there at corner and yada, yada. Take that man and put him at receiver, and he can be all world. He can be I think his ceiling for me, if he plays receiver, I'm going to put him up there at Chad Johnson.
Ooh,
wow.
Ocho Cinco type player.
Ocho Cinco,
If
baby.
he
I love it.
dedicates, if they
To this
draft
position?
him to play receiver, I think he takes too many chances on defense, and he didn't take as many chances this year, but he also played in the Big 12, and still, I still think he's I think he's an excellent receiver. I think he could be an elite receiver in the league in 2 to 3 years, and so I think for me, Travis Hunter, that Chad Johnson, Chad Ocho Cinco, that right there would be a in my opinion, Hall of Fame career.
all right.
Okay.
So,
Let's get through this real quick. Number 5. Not a lot of people are going to agree with this. Matthew
no,
Golden
you're number
from
two.
Texas.
You're number
No,
two.
number 2. My number 2. Matthew Golden from Texas, the transfer from Houston, who wasn't supposed to be as big as a transfer from like Isaiah Bond from Alabama, but ended up being their number 1 guy and proved that he was the best receiver on that Texas team with a bunch of talent and studs everywhere. I think Matthew Golden is going to be shockingly that Reggie Wayne is high praise, but just a solid receiver who knows how to run routes. I know that's really high.
Really
high.
praise.
I'm trying to
Wow.
think of just that receiver that just does everything, not everything great, or amazing, but everything really good. That's why I pictured Golden.
I don't know if Reggie Wayne though, man.
Yeah,
Reggie Wayne
yeah.
was an elite motherfucker, man.
Hall of Famer for sure.
Yes.
But let's skip right away to number 1, and that is T-Mac.
There is no doubt about it. My God.
And T-Mac, size 6'5", 210. He has it all. And more than the athletic ability and the size and structure, he has the mentality like dude, imagine how much money he turned down, Rafa, to transfer to anywhere he wanted.
Anywhere. He could have gone anywhere, and he decided to
Anywhere.
play. He decided to play with a quarterback that could barely see over the line.
Yes.
He
His buddy.
His buddy, and he made Fafita. Fafita made great plays the previous year. This year, he struggled a lot. But when you watch T-Mac, you watch it. I feel like he can get to any ball. I mean, he literally, for me, T-Mac is the best receiver in the draft, no doubt about it. I wouldn't be shocked if he went in the top 5. And for me, I think that he is a Terrell Owens type dude.
That's a great comp. That's a great
TO,
comp.
A TO type guy for T-Mac. I think, and he hasn't had any history of big injuries or anything like that. He's, he missed a game here and there. I think T-Mac can be a TO type player. I think he can go get the ball. He's such a big target, and I think he can be a Terrell Owens type guy. I think he'd be a Hall of Famer.
So
I wouldn't doubt it if in 4 years he's the best receiver in football.
I know that Travis Hunter could play both ways, but if I'm the Patriots, I go get T-Mac. The word on the streets is, and I haven't talked, but I've done CBS.
You've been whispering. You haven't been talking.
Yeah.
You've been whispering to the streets.
But people are talking T-Mac from 10 to 25. I think that's a huge mistake.
I'd be surprised if he even drops to 6.
That I know,
I would
but
be shocked because you have New England up there who needs a receiver.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many teams up there that can use him. If you're Cleveland and you don't take a quarterback, can you take him? I mean, there's so many teams that can take a receiver in that top 10.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's our breakdown. I know people got shit to do. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. Rafa, Eddie Money, any last words, man? We miss Will Hanley today. Will Hanley, DM us your information, man. I got to send you some gear, man, for the all the great comments last week.
I'll just say, Eddie, when you're watching the combine, just remember to get up every couple hours and walk around.
Probably yes. Stretch. Yes,
Stretch, get the blood flowing.
dude. I wish I could call out sick. I watch every second of this shit. It's fucking just.
Will Hanley on time. I'm here.
Hey,
He's here. He's
Will
there.
Hanley.
He's there.
Will DM us on Instagram. We'll get you some gear, man.
Better late than never, Will.
Better late than never, Will. But thank you guys. Rafa, any last words?
Yeah, we were talking about the NBA and we were talking about Jason Tatum. Tonight, Jaylen Brown didn't play, and the Celtics lost by 20. So just throwing that out there. He had an effective night through 3 quarters. I was watching here while we were doing this. He was like 10 of 18, and he had like 27 through 3, but they were still down, 11, 12, 13, 14, ended up losing by 20. So back to the NBA.
You're spot on, I guess.
I don't think Tatum is the next man up. I really believe that. So,
Well, proof is in the pudding, as people would say. But guys, that is episode 124. True Nobodies. We appreciate Michael Brown, Jay's burner account, Will, Rick. Tricksters. Yeah. Anyone else who came in. We love you guys.
Shanae
We'll
also
see you.
chimed in.
Shanae for correcting me. Yes. Appreciate that. Always keeping me on point.
thank you
But,
guys.
All right, guys.
We'll see you next week, 4:30 Pacific.
Yes.
4:30 Pacific. Try and get there.
All right, guys.
Later.